You know, it's Christmas, the year's almost over. I hope everyone's out there hanging out with the family, relaxing, chilling, all that fun holiday stuff. But with the holiday spirit in the air, what better is there to talk about than Cave Story? Look, I'm really fucking bad with segues. Cave Story, literally one of my favorite games ever. Like, you see this little robot guy? I love this little robot guy. I like his hat. Part of the reason I love this game so much is all of the little details you can find out about the game. You want to keep the Amiga mask on during the ending? Sure, there's credit art for that. Want to trade in your weapons for other weapons? Sure, there's like 4 different secret weapons you can get. But I think the coolest detail about this game has got to be the events that take place on Pixel's birthday, Christmas, and Halloween. A few things I want to get out of the way before I dig into it. I won't cover every single little change these events have, I'll just be pointing out what I think are the best ones. The reason for this is that frankly, there's a lot here, and I don't want half the video to be filled with like, oh hey, they made the rocks slightly more gray in the first cave. Like, it won't be that interesting. Shit, the first cave might actually be more brown than it is gray. Whatever. Another thing is that I have no idea what versions of the games have these events or not. So basically, I'm a smooth-brained monkey, and if I'm wrong about the early versions of the games having these events, I'm sorry. And lastly, if I don't know any of the costumes, please don't hate me. Anyway, Pixel's birthday. I'll go ahead and get the most boring one out of the way. Sorry, Pixel. So for those who don't know, Pixel is the one-man developer of Cave Story. Like, this man alone made the entire game, its music, its graphics, its programming, everything. Basically, everyone should strive to have this guy's work ethic. Well, anyway, if you play any version of the game on April 29th, you'd get some special music to play on the title screen. It's the main theme for one of Pixel's other games, Aika-chan. I never played it, but it looks cool. It reminds me a lot of Starfield. You even get an achievement for playing it on his birthday too, for all you completionists out there. Alright, on to Halloween. This one's really cool. I mean, look at all of this. They really gave Cave Story Plus a texture pack just for Halloween. I fucking love some of the costumes here. They're so good, man. I love how Curly breaks as Samus. But by that same train of thought, I sorta wish Quote would have been someone with a better connection to guns, like Doomslayer or something. Vampire Quote is cool though. And plus, who the fuck am I to be suggesting costumes? I didn't make Cave Story. Actually here, I'll just go ahead and break down all the costumes on the main characters since they're all references to something and I love them all. So Quote's a vampire and Curly is Samus, right? The Mamigas, King, Toroko, Jack, and the Fat One are all anonymous, Little Red Riding Hood, Pumpkinhead, and then a zombie respectively. What I love though is that when the doctor makes Toroko drink the Mountain Dew Code Red, she turns into the big bad wolf. Misery, Balrog, and the doctor are all Morgan from Darkstalkers, Frankenstein's Monster, and Dracula. What's sorta strange is that Balrog has another costume, but only for the Balfrog fight. He turns into the prince from The Princess and the Frog, so yeah, that checks out. I guess Balrog technically has a 3rd and 4th costume, but I'm not entirely sure if they count or not. One of them is that weird Balrog shadow clone thing you fight in the labyrinth. It has like your stereotypical ghost sheet on him. The other is the Super Nintendo nurse outfit that shows up at some point in the game, but for the life of me, I can't remember where Balrog's a nurse. What the hell, the shadow clone has a nurse outfit too. Sue's mom, Aito, Azuka, Sue, and Professor Booster are all the Bride of Frankenstein, Frankenstein's Monster, Jason, Princess Peach, and Freddy Krueger. Jinka and Bolos are your generic witch, and this one villain from Ghosts and Goblins. I think my absolute favorite has got to be the Fisherman Amiga, who shows up sometimes throughout the game. It makes no fucking sense, but he turns into Darth Vader of all characters, and I love it. The dragon that you fly on at the end of the game is actually the dragon from the Neverending Story. The dev team / Pixel, whoever made this change, really dug deep for that one and I love it. And outside of characters, the locations, enemies, and even in-game objects get a change too. Like those little triangle Dorito chips that upgrade your weapons are changed to look like candy corn and the hearts of jack-o'-lanterns. While the general enemies are your usual Halloween baddies, there are some great ones here. I love how the jellyfish in the bushlands turn into Metroids, and the sand crocs are some of the best though. They changed the tombstones for Halloween, so if you die to them, it makes it that much worse. While Christmas still has a bunch of cool changes, Cave Story Plus doesn't really go as far as Halloween does, which I can't really blame the developers. There's a lot more stuff to work with for Halloween than there is for Christmas. Hopefully it doesn't seem weird that I'm ending it off with the smaller of the two, but just look at the upload date for this video. If I finished it with Halloween, it'd be weird. Pretty much everything they changed for Halloween, they also changed for Christmas. So like most of the NPCs and enemies have a Christmas themed look to them. I don't really have a lot to say about the characters' costumes this time around. While there are some good ones here, like Quote being a reindeer or the fucking genius it was to make the demon crown a fucking present, they're mostly just like, oh hey, this character has a Christmas sweater, or this character has a wreath on them, or a Santa hat. Don't get me wrong, there are a few gems here. I think my favorite is how they made Misery an elf, like she's doing fucking Balos's bidding over here. Oh yeah, Balos is Santa, and I like how his ball form has this fucking Santa beard. Then you got the fat Mimiga, who's just a snowman, and that's just amazing to me. I also like how the fisherman Mimiga uses a candy cane instead of a fishing rod. They really come up with the best ideas for the fisherman Mimiga. I think the environments is where the Christmas event really shines. Everything is just so much more Christmassy and icy. There are Christmas lights and decorations literally everywhere. Most of the locations have been tinted slightly blue to give it more of an icy feel. The bushlands is like someone's freezer now. That place is just completely frozen over. Hell, even the statues at the end of the game gets decorated for the holidays. I like how they made the doctor statue a nutcracker too. It's cool. And I like how the missile pickups have bows on them. That's all I have on Cave Story. Overall, these little events are some of my favorite things in this game. You see developers do this sort of thing all the time, like adding a little Christmas tree in the corner or putting a Santa hat on the main character, but I don't think I've ever seen a game deck out its graphics as much for the holidays to the extent that Cave Story does. It's honestly really cool to see. And yeah, I don't really have a funny outro for this. I hope you all have a nice Christmas and play Cave Story, I guess.